Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Today, as I promised, we're doing a Kung Fu lesson with the staff. So if you haven't heard, I have a staff, as you can see. You guys are going to learn how to use a staff or a weapon like this in battle, or to use as self-defense. So let's get started. If this camera wouldn't mess with me right now. Come on, there. All right. So I'm just gonna talk about like the basic, whatchamacallit. It's very confusing how the staff works. The attacks. Yeah, the attacks. So you don't really start in a stance with this one. So how this works is that your front hand, which is this hand, is your anchor hand, is what they call it. So the anchor hand is pretty much what it is, the anchor hand. So it anchors the staff down so you can strike like that. But I'm going to tell you how. I'm actually going to face this camera up on my bed so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. This doesn't fall. Sorry, I'm taking a long time. Alright, so you don't really start in a stance for this one. So your anchor hand's on the top. You have, so you need pretty much half of the staff is in your hand, pretty much. So you take the top of your hand, which is your anchor hand, and you put it on the top of your staff or weapon of your choice. And you take the hand that's on the bottom, and it's on the bottom of the staff. So then, we're going to learn how to strike the head. So, I hope my ceiling isn't gonna, break. But, I'm gonna be gentle with this. So, how to strike the head, not hand, head, how to strike the head is you pretty much switch hands pretty much, but you can't turn your hand at all. It has to be just one movement by sliding. So you take your front hand, which is your anchor hand, or whatever hand that's in front of the staff or weapon. You take that, slide to the bottom, and then as soon as you slide it to the bottom, you switch hands like that, and I almost hit the ceiling. Yeah. So you can just keep doing it like that. That's the problem. You can hit stuff really easy with this. But yeah, I'm just going to be real light with this. If you have a bigger room than mine, you can just do it a little bit better. But that's how to switch hands. So you take your anchor hand, slide it, and then the back hand becomes the anchor hand, and your front hand becomes the back hand. And when you're swinging like this, you also have to switch sides across your body. It's almost like you're rowing a boat, kind of. But if you do it right, you can either hear squeaking. I just hit my ceiling again. You can hear squeaking on the staff, like this. Like that. Next, this isn't really a attack really with the staff, but this is more of a stance with the staff. So how this works is that we're going to be in crane stance, which let me just demonstrate crane stance if you don't know what crane stance is. Crane stance is one of the 5 animals of Kung Fu. So crane stance is pretty much your one leg, like this, is on your kneecap, and you just hold it there, and that's crane stance. And for a little bit of a challenge, you can rotate your hands like this, or whatever kind of motion you need, and you can pretty much balance yourself like that. Like that. But for beginners, I wouldn't do the hand movements if you're not familiar with the crane stance. But we're going to learn crane stance with the staff. So this one's a little bit challenging. But if you want to make it less challenging, there's no really way to make it less challenging. I guess just practice. I don't know. So you go into crane stance. Yeah, that's what you do. You go into crane stance, and then actually that's not the right thing to do. I forgot how this works. So wait, just forget what I said there. So you go into crane stance, and then do you see the forearm or your whole elbow section and this section of your arm? It pretty much acts like a window. So if you don't see through that window, you're not going to hit an enemy in the leg or any spot you want to hit the enemy in with this crane and staff technique. You're not going to hit anyone. So you need an open window like this, pretty much. You can't have it down on your eyes. You have to have it like that. So as soon as you go into crane stance, you immediately switch hands. It's not really easy for me to do this because I don't have a lot of room in here. And I just hit my thing. But yeah, and then after that, you go through this window right here, kind of like that, with your whole arm and your elbow and everything. So that's pretty much like a window, and you can hit the enemy by jabbing back and hitting the desk, which is not what I'm supposed to do. Next, we will learn a sweeping staff attack known as my sensei calls it to strike the ribs and strike the head, but it's really just this strike doesn't really have a name like other ones except for crane and staff. But that's pretty much it for that name, for those names. But we'll learn how to strike the ribs. So you don't have to be in a stance for this one, unlike the crane. You don't have to have a window. But yeah, how this works is that you do the same position, like I said before, and then actually I'm going to switch hands for this. Then, as soon as you do it, so instead of striking vertically, you strike to the side. So you let go. So you pretty much, it's hard for me to tell you guys this because it's so complicated how this works. But as soon as you slide your hand down, you switch again. Kind of like that. And that is striking the ribs. Without me breaking anything. Kind of like that. It's kind of like a half circle, pretty much. So, yeah, staff training is not meant in this room, that's for sure. Because look how small the ceiling is. Like, I can literally just hit it like that. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace out.